Not me, but us, in the freezing winters of Iowa and New Hampshire, and in the heat of Nevada and in South Carolina, and in states throughout the country. We will never achieve universal health care. Millions of us will continue to live in poverty. Many of us will leave school saddled with huge debt or never get the education we need. We will continue to see more drought, floods, rising sea levels, and increasingly uninhabitable planet. We will continue to have massive income and wealth inequality, prejudice and hatred, mass incarceration, terrified immigrants, and hundreds of thousands of Americans sleeping out on the streets.
He's so invested in defining and defending this label of democratic socialism.
Well, this is who he is. Bernie Sanders has been a democratic socialist for 40 years, very proudly. He has never been an official member of the Democratic Party, saying he's a democratic socialist, and he feels like that term has been misunderstood. He says that there's a proud tradition of this within the Democratic Party. He connected himself to Franklin Roosevelt, as he's done before, talking about how that was democratic socialism, about how...
What do you think he has to gain at this point? He hasn't really been able to break out. Is this trying to reach out to another demographic?
There's a real reluctance to go along with democratic socialism. Elizabeth Warren kind of shook her head and laughed when I told her that Bernie Sanders was giving the speech. Kirsten Gillibrand, the senator from New York, who is one of the people who stood with Bernie Sanders about 2 months ago when he reintroduced the Medicare for All bill, said to me that she doesn't think that that's the right thing at all. And capitalism is what she believes in, and she says what America needs to do is different from Sanders in that the system should be fixed. You should address corruption and greed, but not to change the whole way of American capitalism.
This unprecedented crisis in an unprecedented way that protects the health and economic well-being of the working families of our country, not just powerful special interests. As a member of the Democratic leadership in the United States Senate, and as a senator from the state of Vermont, this is something that I intend to intensely be involved in over the next number of months, and that will require an enormous amount of work. Which takes me to the state of our presidential campaign. I wish I could give you better news, but I think you know the truth. We are now some 300 delegates behind Vice President Biden, and the path toward victory is virtually impossible. I have concluded that this battle for the Democratic nomination will not be successful. And so today, I am announcing the suspension of my campaign. Please know that I do not make this decision lightly. In fact, it has been a very difficult and painful decision. If I believed we had a feasible path to the nomination, I would certainly continue the campaign, but it's just not there. I know that there may be some in our movement who disagree with this decision, but as I see the crisis gripping the nation, I cannot, in good conscience, continue to mount a campaign that cannot win. Wall Street, the insurance companies, the drug companies, the fossil fuel industry, the military-industrial complex, the prison-industrial complex, and the greed of the entire corporate elite. Today, I congratulate Joe Biden, a very decent man, who I will work with to move our progressive ideas forward. On a practical note, let me also say this. I will stay on the ballot in the states and continue down the path.
Let me tell you, he's a joke. Bernie has done a very good job of that there's going to be this revolution. Americans aren't looking for revolution. Well, some do, but look at the numbers. He's not going to come anywhere near generating the kind of participation of young folks that Barack did in 2008. There's no evidence of that yet. Find me someone running for the Senate of North Carolina who wants him to campaign for him.
How can you then continue to make the claim that he's not elected?
Because I talked to all the people who are in those states that we have to win. find somebody in Texas who wants him to campaign for him.
I know Joe. We know Joe. But most importantly, Joe knows us.